Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the exciting second-year quarterback, Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens, as they square off with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, there are a few cities finer on a clear afternoon than this one, and we have a picture-perfect clear afternoon. Heck, you can see all the way to Mount Rainier in the distance here at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. These folks love their football in Seattle. This was the scene a moment ago as the home squad came out of the tunnel, and it was just absolutely deafening in this building. They're set for football, so are we, as the Seahawks get set to match up with the Baltimore Ravens. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. The Seahawks offense led out by number 3, Russell Wilson, the franchise's all-time leader in touchdown passes. And the Seahawks, they finished above 500 in all 7 of Wilson's seasons. But this year a little different. They'll work with a very young receiving core, no Doug Baldwin anymore, in what promises to be a tough NFC West.
Get that quarterback D-line! Get that quarterback D-line!
Here's the second-year man from San Diego State, Rashad Penny. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down. And here's the starting offensive unit for Seattle.
We know that Tyler Lockett has been a Pro Bowl kick returner, now starting to really emerge as a top threat as a receiver. At his best year as a wideout in 2018, just missed the 1,000-yard mark by 35 yards. Expect that number to increase.
You better bring. I'm letting you know right.
On second and 9, Wilson. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7. Give him 7 on the play, and that's going to bring up a third down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so. It gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. It was just third down and short, but he bit off a little extra.
I would say way more than he could chew, but he chewed up all that yardage in a big way. And that, to me, that was a combination of offensive line, stacked defense, and they handled it. Okay, they got the leverage, they got the blocking angles, and opened up a nice crease. And once you get past that first wave, there's room to roam.
Yeah, that's just the third play from scrimmage. They wanted to avoid that 3-and-out. They did. Well, look now at our starting defense. They come into this one rounding out the top 10 in the 10 spot against the run.
Most of their challenges have come in the passing game because against the run, they've been pretty darn good. Now you've got to figure out a way to slow down those receivers before they get downfield and maybe make a few more plays on the ball when it's in the air.
After the pickup of 5, here's second and 5. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him.
You better be ready next time.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. So here are the Ravens now as they get set for their opening possession. As we get a look at a guy who grew up in Florida, played his college ball, of course, in Louisville. It's the electric Lamar Jackson.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Jackson now off the bootleg, sliding out of the pocket. He can run for it, and he will. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. They'll run on first down. Ingram, and very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
From just shy of midfield, Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on there heals a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish him off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
At the 42-yard line.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on second down. From the gun, it's a run for Ingram. And he gets it down to the 32. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down. Well, look there at Ingram's numbers from a week ago. 21 carries, 61 yards.
Are we playing old school football now? We've got the top 10 rusher in the league. He's sitting at number 10, but he has a chance to move up with a big-time game. So expect that offensive line every time they go to the bench to tell the offensive coordinator, let's run the football.
Now it appears we've got an injured Raven down there on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Ready?
Here's carry number 1 for Kenneth Dixon. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. Here's Jackson being chased out left. And he's got Snead. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Willie Snead. His 4th touchdown on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation and a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive, and it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. As Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
He was brought down by Earl Thomas. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4. At the 40-yard line.
Check.
From the 40 now on 2nd down. Wilson, he gets it to his running back, Rashad Penny. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Wilson to lock it there for the Seahawk first down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
From midfield now, here's Wilson. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 27-yard line. Wilson going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Here's Wilson. He's got the tight end, Vanette. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Wilson's pass intended for DK.
He was... all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience is early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the Grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
All right, back to football. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
This Ravens offense heads back out there led by Lamar Jackson. And he's been busy with his feet. He's been quite the scrambling man.
And obviously that can break down a defense, but a lot of it is just that they just get trapped with worrying about it so much that other things break down as well. You know, you break the huddle, and you're not just playing what comes out at you. You're like, oh, God, don't let him outside of the pocket. Don't let him beat us with his legs. And then he starts to beat you other ways.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
On that play, as you saw the route start to develop downfield, I got the sense that maybe the run would set up for him, and he took full advantage of it and got a big gain on a busted play.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 47. Dixon running from the shotgun. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
The best defensive lineman They play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson dancing to his left. He'll try and run it. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
Now Jackson. A bullet throw, but incomplete. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They're going on 4th down. It's Jackson. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Here we go. Kill.
Here's McKissick. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
And when you're trying to set up a counter play, it's what a lot of people call an influence play. You're really hoping those defensive linemen are really agile that day. If they stayed out late the night before the game and they're not moving as fast, it's a lousy call because that means they're just going to sit in the hole that you hope to create just by the movement of your offensive line.
And there they got the ball to the outer third of the field, but tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, things get stacked up in there if they don't move as well as you want them to, and probably just trying to escape and couldn't get away. I like the boldness, and I like that they took a shot downfield, but it was well covered, and he was able to get a hand in and knock it away.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Now Brown. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Well, a couple of good division battles coming up in primetime this weekend, starting tonight with Sunday Night Football, Eagles and Cowboys from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Then tomorrow on Monday night, it's the defending champs, the Patriots, on the road at MetLife Stadium to take on the Jets. 2 not to miss to close out Week 6. Michael Kendricks, the linebacker, there to get him down.
Check. Watch 54. Go.
They go play action now. Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 49 yards. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. Not quite the success they had last play. This one goes for 3 yards.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. Now Dixon. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. The defensive line made pretty easy work of the offensive line that time.
And people get tired of the cliche that the battle is won in the trenches. but it's a cliche because it's true. And how about the battle right there? One on the edge, and the ball kick.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick.
I think that interception happened for two reasons. Quarterback gets outside of the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Here's Wilson going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on 2nd down. They almost gave it right back to him there with another interception of their own, and to be honest, he probably should have caught that and picked it off.
And he knows it, and he'll see it in film, and he'll see it in his dreams tonight when it's all said and done. But you almost felt like the excitement had been ramped up, and they were trying to get a big play right after that one.
Tough sequence there for the offensive line.
Well, it gives us a chance to shine a little spotlight on the defensive linemen, on the defensive tackles. They don't normally get a bunch of praise, but it all starts there, doesn't it? If you're going to have a good run defense, they have to hold the point of attack and make plays as they just did there.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Now it appears we've got an injured Raven down there on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Jackson. It's complete to Snead. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven 1st down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
On 1st down, they go with Dixon. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
Call it a gain of 3, but not enough. To move the sticks, it'll be 3rd and about a foot or two.
Last stop! Last stop!
Brings up 3rd and inches.
They'll try and run for the first with Edwards.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. They go play action here on 1st down. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Let's get it together. Watch twitch. Watch twitch.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. Now Jackson throwing on 3rd and long. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That's it, baby.
So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
You have to give big-time credit to the cornerback on that play. Most of them like to just sit back and say, I'm playing pass. But he diagnosed that play so fast and got into the backfield for a loss of yardage. That's a monster play by a corner.
On 2nd down, here's Penny. And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. 5 yards will get him back to the original line of scrimmage, but now they're looking at 3rd and 10. And the Seahawks on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Now it's Wilson. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Great coverage there. Holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. He's got the lead here in the 2nd quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing well, your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. Yeah. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. The throw here to Andrews, the tight end. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
A gain of a yard brings up 2nd and 9 at the Seahawks 28-yard line.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Quick throw taken in by Snead. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
He's got the 1st down. He's got a big game going right now. Already over 100 yards receiving in this first half alone.
One of the selling points of the corner route is usually the receiver is able to move away from the defender. But in this case, he didn't get that far away.
On 1st down, Dixon. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
A 1-yard gain could look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson on the move to his left. He'll run it, and he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7. Our score. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Turn to the power game to try to get in. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. The headlinesman was right on it. I think they got that spot correct.
Yeah, and so many times officials catch so much grief because of things that may go wrong. You're exactly right. He was on the spot, marked it correctly. Let's see how this plays out from here.
Another fullback dive? I don't know that you go to that again.
No. Fullbacks block. Running backs carry the football.
Trying to pound it in with Dixon. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Kenneth Dixon. His 2nd touchdown on the season as the Ravens push further out in front. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the 2nd. But there's also something to challenging your offense.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They don't want to repeat a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1.
Check. 380. He don't know no better. He's checking.
Once again, they'll keep it on the ground. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. So possession goes over here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
2nd and 10 now from the 27.
Army.
Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. It's a foot race. Kenneth Dixon. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And they extend their lead, a little added cushion into the lockers. What a way to finish.
Tremendous way. That's momentum that they carry in with them. Can they convert it and bring it back out to start the third quarter?
Tucker now for the extra point. And it's 21-3. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll get started up at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, where it was the visiting Jaguars who were able to come away with the road victory. A 3-touchdown differential in the end, 35-14, the final. Next, we'll stay in the AFC South as we fly through Kentucky and on down to Nashville to check on the Tennessee Titans. And it's the visiting LA Chargers who have the lead in that one at halftime. The veteran Phillip Rivers with a couple of touchdown passes there. Lastly, let's get to the Windy City, see what's happening with the Bears at home at Soldier Field. And that one all tied against the visiting Saints. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. This one taken from the 7. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Up come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Bobby Wagner, the former second-rounder out of Utah State, with a sack.
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball got super emotional. They can come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this third quarter. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down. Not only another first down, that also puts him over 100 yards rushing.
That's not something you see very often in the NFL. We see it more in college, but I think with more of the melding of the college game with quarterbacks, we'll see this a little bit more often in the future.
They'll run on first down. It's Dixon. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. Here's Dixon. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 31-yard line.
From the 31, Jackson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, but they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you've got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You play through the receivers. On that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
They'll run with Dixon. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Jackson. Flush to his right. He's going to take diving for the end zone, and the ball's knocked out. And the Seahawks have picked it up.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So, should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore. And that run there does nothing but juice up the guys who are moving the football. I mean, if you're an offensive lineman, people running it, actually the guy calling plays, you're almost jumping up and down in jubilation, aren't you?
Yeah, now you've got options on 2nd down.
And big-time options. You might want to think about play action and try and get something cheap right here over the top.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Let's put him on the buses. Let's put that team.
Penny, a first down carry. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards.
You don't want no problem.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Wilson leaves this one with Penny. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose it. Back at the 7.
Extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
Fielded just inside the 30. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
Difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. On 2nd down, it's Dixon. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down. Here's Jackson to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down.
Let's go.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 on the Seahawks 44-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the gun, Jackson. Flushed out right. On the crossing route, complete. It's Andrews. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 17-yard line.
I like the design of that play, or shall I say the way it ended up. Quarterback ends up to the right side. You know, it gets outside of the pocket. How about the tight end staying in his sight line and getting to that same part of the field, and they find each other for the completion.
And he'll take this one down near the 15. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line. They'll hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jackson escaping the pressure right. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
7th play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's going to come up well shy of the first here as the tackle's made right around the 12.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a first down.
And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And that will stretch the lead up to 3 touchdowns now. It's a 21-point game. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
Let's go!
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Wilson. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Moore. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They will run it. It's McKissick. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here.
Yeah, anything. Change it up because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's getting off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case.
A big play that time for the Ravens. 41 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Jackson from the shotgun. Buying time to his left. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Now a draw play with Dixon. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. From the gun, Jackson. And that is incomplete. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. They'll put it down right at the 40, so call this a 50-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will extend their lead even further. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Wilson to throw. And it's hauled in by Ed Dixon. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down. Wilson now 9 of 16 through the air as he's got it 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. It's caught. Lockett. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks.
And that's good for another Seahawks. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 41.
Give me some. Give me some. Here we go.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Mike 40. Big stop, D. Big stop.
On 1st down, Wilson. This complete to Lockett. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
That's going to be caught. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at...
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks are able to cut into that deficit. So now a 2-point conversion attempt coming for Wilson and the Seahawks. He'll find Metcalf. And he will not make it to the goal line. The defense holds him here. And this is still a 3-score game as the lead remains 18.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us. Because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation, this time unsuccessfully. I just wondered maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
A running play there, going to get 11 as they get a quick first down. It's a pickup of 11 at a Baltimore first down.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
Rolling to his right. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Bradley McDougald that time able to knock it away. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson again. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A gain of 28 yards there and give them a first down. So they move from 136 over to the other as they come up on first down. A run by Dixon. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Dixon again. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The run defense, they have been porous at times today, but not that last go-around.
No, they really tightened it up, didn't they? They finally got themselves a win because all game long we've seen them get gashed. This time they played their responsibilities, played their keys, and made a nice stop.
Now it's Jackson. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, get some 9 yards and a first.
He really looked comfortable there, scanning the situation, analyzing things, feeling the pressure, and then stepping up right through the middle and sprinting for a first down.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
On first down, Dixon. In on the tackle there, Bobby Wagner coming off a 3rd straight All-Pro season.
Check, watch 54, watch 54. Switch up.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson steps away to his left. And it'll be intercepted. Trey Flowers picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Not the best of plays there as a quarterback. You're right-handed, rolling left, trying to throw it that far downfield.
I remember a coach of mine saying, son, that's the equivalent of trying to get the car keys out of your pocket with your opposite hand while you're trying to run. You just can't do it.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First down Seattle on a pickup of 13.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
Wilson's throw caught by Metcalf. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 10 yards and a Seattle first down. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 46. To throw is Wilson. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Let's go, let's bring it.
Wilson defers to Penny here on the draw. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1.
I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you to school.
Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Still first down.
That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Now Wilson, left side complete to Lockett. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a first down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
They go back to the ground now with Penny. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
Can we just take that run and turn it into a kind of a clip and save? Because that tells you everything you need to know about this drive. They've been moving the ball awfully well.
Let's go.
On 3rd and 1, Wilson. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The drive begins with a run by Dixon, and he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. Ends up picking.
Now the ball comes loose.
Let's go, baby.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now it's Dixon. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. Right back to Dixon. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
It's a gain of a yard, and it's 3rd down.
On the set, 54. Mike 54. Squeeze, double.
3rd and 2. Here's Jackson rolling to his left. Now he'll square up and throw deep left sideline. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against him offensively. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. He's had quite the turnaround, Charles. At the start of the game, passing game was a little bit of a mess, but he's back on the horse, so to speak.
Love seeing how someone can rebound from a slow start or a touchdown.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Willie Henry just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now Rashad Penny. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Completes it to Dixon. And all the way to the 25 before he's hit and dropped. A big 3rd down pickup of 20 yards. This one into the hands of Metcalf.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball. I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. Here's Wilson, and now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Ravens have got it.
Holding, defense.
Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
And they'll indeed take a knee. And they will take a knee here. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And they take a knee. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
No, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for the Ravens, they move back over 500 now at 4-3. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.